Ethiopia has always caught my interest ever since I met my best friends. My two closest friends are from Ethiopia, so I've always been interested in learning about their culture and the values and morals that they take from their culture and how those are prevalent in their lives and what kind of events they attend and how important their culture is, especially with food. I started by attending family events and getting close to their moms and other family members with hopes of getting a better glimpse of the culture of Ethiopia and the culture of Africa in general. My first experience with Ethiopian food was with injera. Injera is a spongy bread eaten with meat and other sauces, and so it's typically made in like a platter form where injera is the base, and then they put different meat sauces, beef stews on top of that, and then you kind of wrap it up together or you mash it together, kind of like you make it into like a bowl. As I was eating injera, I started speaking with my friend's mom about religion, more so because I know some religions dictate what they eat. And like, for example, I know the majority of Ethiopians who practice a specific religion don't consume pork, so I wanted to see if there were other dietary limitations that religion dictates. And so I wanted to see how Ethiopian Orthodoxes are dictated based on whatever they practice. And so for Ethiopians who practice Ethiopian Orthodox, they have to forego meat and dairy products for a certain period of time. This is a main reason why restaurants in Ethiopia serve vegetarian options, typically on Wednesdays and Fridays. Sometimes vegetarians can even go longer, upwards to 50 days. Since I was interested in the meals served on vegetarian days, I started asking my friend's mom about what they eat instead of meat on those days, and she suggested Azifa. So I started looking up other Ethiopian vegetarian dishes, but then realized that Azifa is an extremely popular dish, so I started looking more into why that's a popular dish and how that supports their culture. And so Azifa is an Ethiopian lentil salad that is often eaten on vegetarian days. Lentils is one of the most important crops of Ethiopia because of its high protein content, and this is important since Ethiopians on vegetarian days, they have to stay away from protein. This is their main source of protein is lentils. And so Ethiopia is one of the leading lentil growing countries, and the tomatoes used in Azifa are also a prominent ingredient in many Ethiopian foods. So both tomatoes and lentils are a prominent staple in the homes of many Ethiopians. Tomatoes because it is widely grown vegetable, and lentils because it's just widely grown in crops. The ingredients are grown locally and sold to individuals for meals. Azifa can be eaten with injera, and same thing that I mentioned earlier, where it can be rolled up, kind of like what they do with the beef stew or the meat platter. They roll it up and they eat it kind of like a sandwich. And so injera is eaten with hands and not utensils, and so that's different from American culture because it's just how you eat the food, and that's how you appropriately eat it, and that's contributing to the manners of society, of the community of Ethiopia. Injera is a staple food for the majority of meals in Ethiopia, so they usually combine it with, the majority of the times they have it for dinner or they eat it as a side. Aviva and I will be combining Azifa with a spicy stew called Ethiopian lentil stew. Both of these dishes are traditional foods eaten by Ethiopians. The flavors are truly the essence of Ethiopian culture because it entails all the important aspects of the culture, all the spices, the proteins, and all the hard work that families put into making the meals for each other. These ingredients support the lifestyle of many Ethiopians because the ingredients are readily available and ready for prep for other meals.